Are you having trouble learning Wrastor? Well, that's not too surprising. Its floatiness, aerial-based gameplay, and lack of grounded smash attacks can feel quite unintuitive at first. However, in the hands of a capable player, Wrastor can be one of the most explosive and impressive characters in Rivals of Aether 2. If you're unfamiliar with me, my name is Mr.R, and I was a former Best European Brawl and Smash 4 player. I'm currently ranked top 6 on the leaderboards playing only Wrastor. Many of you have been asking me for an in-depth guide on how to play the character, so here it is. One of the reasons why Wrastor is so difficult to play is because of the sheer amount of options he has. Knowing which optimal follow-up to go for depending on your opponent's percentage range, character weight, and positioning can be rather challenging, especially in the heat of the moment when you don't have much time to react. I'm gonna step by step take you through his game plan, and hopefully by the end of it, you'll have a better idea on how to play this character. Let's start out with our control scheme first. Did you know that Wrastor is the only character in the game that can tilt out of his dashes? All you have to do is either assign a button to strong attacks or put your C-stick on adaptive. Assigning a button to strong attack is also handy for smash attacking in the air, since the default tap strong on controls can mess up your aerials with claps at times. My advice would be to turn tap strong off, assign a strong attack on a button, and optionally put C-stick on adaptive. Alright, let's start with his neutral game. Setting up Slipstream is key for Wrastor's neutral game. His speed, pokes, and distance coverage all benefit from Slipstream. Throwing out Slipstreams at max distance makes it quite easy to parry or maneuver for your opponent. So either throw this move out when you're near them, when they're respawning, to set up a combo or frame trap, or in disadvantage. My favorite other neutral tools include dash cancel down tilt, aerial out of shields, approaching with short hop or full hop in air, falling down air, or jab cancel F tilts. Use a mixture of these options depending on what your opponent's habits in neutral are. For example, if your opponent floor hogs a lot, then jab cancelled F tilt is an excellent counter versus floor hogging, starting around 10 to 50%. If your opponent is shielding a lot, then space down airs and nairs are excellent for applying pressure without much risk. You can also go for a hard read dash grab. If your opponent is pressing a lot of buttons, then depending on what character you're fighting, you can punish them with either back air, nair, or down air out of shields. Your hitfall grab also acts as an excellent whiff punish. If your opponent is jumping out of the corner often, then full hop approaching nair can stuff them out. Now that we understand what his neutral tools are and how to open people up, let's get into the fun stuff. Wrastor's combos. Let's start out with his throw combos. Your choice of throws varies depending on the character you're fighting. At 0%, it's better to down throw Fleet, Lock Stomp, Wrastor, or Rhino instead of up throwing them, since even on DI in, up throw won't net you that much. Once you've down thrown them, you can either tech chase regrab, down air, or down smash to beat out missed techs or techs in place. Note that down air can be floor hog though, and if they're on a platform, falling back air or down air into another conversion also works. Against fast fallers such as Zetter, Force, or Clarion for example, up throw becomes a lot more useful and is a good mix-up to keep your opponent on their toes. If your opponent DIs away up throw, you don't get a guaranteed follow-up. However, if they neutral DI or DI in, you can go for hitfall up air chains, or my personal favorite, down air regrab conversions. Once you've become better at down throw tech chasing and up throw conversions, you can add special pummels to the mix. After your special pummel, you can actually go for another tech chase with down throw. One of the neat and underutilized option you can go for here is time one of your moves with the tornado disappearing. If you do this right, it'll cancel out your current animation and you'll actually be able to combo off of it. There's actually a pretty broken setup right now with special pummel and down throw. If you slightly delay your down throw and fast fall your up smash, it actually covers every single tech option against Loxodon, Crag, Wrastor, and Orcane. Last but not least, your back throw can act as a combo starter as well. However, your opponent needs to DI in, so this becomes more of a DI mix-up alongside up throw. You can get dash stacks, dash cancel down tilts, or even aerials out of this. Speaking of which, let's talk about Wrastor's aerials. Up air is good for extending combos, especially when you hit follow them. It also has a sour spot, which can be comboed off of if you land with it. Nair sets up for tech chases or clap confirms if people DI badly. Back air mixes up people's DI, especially if you can take the reverse hitbox. And last but not least, Wrastor's down air, which I believe to be Wrastor's best aerial. To fully utilize Wrastor's down air, you first need to understand its hitboxes. The back hit of down air will send people away from you, while the front hit of down air sends people behind you. There's also a tiny hitbox below him on the front that can set up for spikes. Just like back air, down air is also good for messing up your opponent's DI. It sets up for claps, up tilts, grabs, and so much more. Combining all of these, you can extend your combos and get crazy aerial loops like these. Alright, now for by far the most asked question, how do I find kills as Wrastor? Wrastor is actually great at finding kills, but can also struggle killing once your opponent is past a certain percentage threshold where your kill setups don't work anymore. Let's start with an easy one, Wrastor's hitfall grab. Assuming you get your sweet spot claps, this can get you a kill around 100 to 135 versus fast fallers, and around 75 to 105 versus floaties. It also sets up into an up B versus fast fallers, which can kill depending on the stage, your positioning, or their DI. As good as this move might sound, it's also extremely punishable on shield or whiff, so keep that in mind. Personally, I only try to use this move when slipstream is up, as this will give you extra distance and make it harder for your opponent to whiff punish you. Next up is actually one of the most useful kill setups you have, which is your 50-50 with back throw and up throw. Yes, you heard that right. Wrastor has a 50-50 with his grab. This works versus Claren, Crag, Zetter, Force Burn, and Maple. In other words, most of the cast. Whenever you grab your opponent around 100 to 130%, they have to guess what throw you'll be doing. If they DI to up throw properly and you back throw, they'll actually DI in on your back throw and you get a free clap punish. However, if they try to DI away your back throw and you up throw instead, they end up DIing in, which also nets you a free kill. Despite not being a 50-50 versus floaties, back throw is actually still a good option at kill percents, since your opponent often just isn't ready for the proper DI, netting you another free kill. Wrastor's up B is great for ending your strings, but also really good for tech chases, parry punishes, and out of shields. Consider ending your strings early with up B sometimes, since this actually messes up people's survival DI as they're trying to DI away for your combos. Another great kill setup Wrastor has is hitfall back air out of shield. This sets up for clap conversions and sometimes even up B. Make sure you go to training mode and practice the hitfall timing, because it's actually super important. This works around 80 to 140% depending on which hitbox of bear you connect with. Now, let's talk about forward air. Some of your bread and butter kill setups off stage exist because of forward air. Not only does falling fair combo into itself and other aerials, rising fair also combos into your finishers at times. This ultimately does depend on your opponent's DI, but like I said, if your opponent's survival DIs your combos all the time and you end your strings a little bit early with up B, they're less inclined to always DI away, which sets up perfectly for ending your fair strings with a kill move. Down tilt can also set up for kills, but only on DI in or sometimes neutral DI. Going for dash cancel down tilts at kill percents isn't a bad idea, as this is a pretty fast move and your opponent won't always be ready for the DI. Down smash into claps or up B is another consistent punish you can go for, as down smash will give you just enough hit stun for you to finish him off. This can also be used out of shield against many moves in the game. Uncharged down smash versus fast fallers works around 95 to 120% and versus floaty from 75 to 100. One of my favorite kill setups is down air into F smash or up B when your opponent is recovering. If you time your ledge jump well, you get invisibility on your down air, which can interrupt any recovery and combos into up smash, F smash, or up B. This works around 80 to 140%. If your opponent overshoots their recovery, you can either hit them with down air, down smash, or even special pummel. Each one of these work at different percentages, so make sure to experiment with all of them. Wrastor is also considered one of the best edge guarders in the game. His multiple jumps help him go deep off stage, and his down smash is an amazing tool for stuffing out recoveries, especially horizontal ones. As for up tilt, it can be used to catch people off guard when they're going to the edge, or when they're jumping over the edge. Alright, you might be wondering what to do once your opponent is past the threshold of most of your kill setups. Honestly, this area is one of Wrastor's biggest weaknesses. He doesn't really have stray hits besides neutral air to kill people at high percent. What I end up doing is often fishing for back throw, because even at slightly higher percents this still works on DI in, or try to go for nairs. Obviously, both of these things come with a risk, so make sure you don't get too greedy. Alright, well that's the end of the guide, you guys. There's a lot more I can teach you about Wrastor, but for the sake of making this video a little bit more compact, I try to only go over the most important things. Perhaps in the future we can do another guide explaining more of Wrastor stuff, because honestly, this character just simply has too many things to all put in one video. Anyway, if you guys enjoyed watching the video or learned a thing or two, consider hitting that sub button and like the video if you can. Thanks for watching.